Where did the Anunnaki come from? Where is the kingdom of heaven? Zecharia Sitchin, in one of his interviews, claimed to have asked the Anunnaki, "If you exist, show me where you came from," and then he fell asleep. Upon waking up, he had the answer. They came from Nibiru, the planet of crossing, the planet of the Lord. And after researching the tablets, he recorded in his book what we are going to observe from now on. Analysis of the Epic of Creation and corresponding texts such as the Babylonian Epic of Creation reveals that post-2000 BCE Marduk, Enki's offspring, triumphed over Ninurta, Enlil's progeny, in a battle for divine dominance. Following this, the Babylonians modified the initial Sumerian narrative, erasing mentions of Ninurta and largely omitting references to Enlil, and attributed the name Marduk to the intruding celestial body. Consequently, Marduk's terrestrial coronation as the king of gods was mirrored in the cosmos, with the 12th planet, home of the Anunnaki, being his stellar equivalent, establishing him as the sovereign of both the celestial deities and the heavens. Initially, academics speculated that Marduk referred to the North Star or another luminous star visible during the vernal equinox in the Mesopotamian firmament, owing to descriptions of Marduk as a radiant celestial entity. However, research by Albert Schott and others in Marduk und sein Stern definitively established Marduk as a solar system constituent based on ancient astronomical documents. Despite Marduk being hailed as the great heavenly abode and the bright heavenly body, leading to assumptions of him being a sun deity analogous to the Egyptian god Ra, this theory faced contradictions. While texts portrayed Marduk with a radiant halo inspiring awe and surveying the earth like the sun deity Shamash, it emphasized that Marduk was distinct from the sun, thus negating the hypothesis of him being a solar deity. The ensuing dilemma was identifying the specific planet representing Marduk. Ancient scripts did not distinctly associate him with any known planet, while some theories, grounded on specific epithets like son of the sun, suggested Saturn. Marduk's reddish depiction brought Mars into consideration. The majority, however, leaned towards Jupiter, situated centrally in the planetary alignment, comprising Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, as the representation of Marduk in the heart of heaven. Yet this theory harbored inconsistencies, primarily because proponents overlooked the knowledge gap of the Chaldeans regarding planets beyond Saturn and their perception of Earth as the flat focal point of the planetary arrangement, excluding the Moon, a significant celestial entity for the Mesopotamians. Hence, equating Jupiter with the 12th planet remained unconvincing. The Epic of Creation unambiguously portrays Marduk as an external force entering the solar system, bypassing outer planets like Saturn and Jupiter before clashing with Tiamat. The Sumerians labeled this celestial body Nibiru, denoting a crossing planet. The Babylonian rendition of the epic preserved this astronomical detail, emphasizing the unique trajectory and origin of Marduk. Planet Nibiru, the crossroads of heaven and earth he shall occupy. Above and below, they shall not go across, they must await him. Planet Nibiru, planet which is brilliant in the heavens. He holds the central position. To him they shall pay homage. Planet Nibiru, it is he who without tiring, the midst of Tiamat keeps crossing. Let crossing be his name. The one who occupies the midst. The supplementary and decisive details presented in these lines elucidate that the 12th planet consistently traverses the heart of Tiamat, bisecting the remaining planets into 2 equal segments. This trajectory leads it to recurrently visit the historic locus of the cosmic conflict, formerly the abode of Tiamat. In-depth scrutiny of ancient astronomical manuscripts, which meticulously delineate planetary cycles, coupled with the enumeration of planets according to their celestial arrangement, insinuates Marduk's presence in the space intervening Mars and Jupiter, Given the Sumerians' comprehensive knowledge of all the planets, the central positioning of the 12th planet corroborates our deductions. Mercury, Venus, Moon, Earth, Mars, Marduk, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. In the vicinity where Tiamat once existed, situated relatively close to us, between Mars and Jupiter, Marduk's trajectory supposedly takes it. Despite its alleged large and luminous nature, why hasn't it been spotted yet? Ancient Mesopotamian scripts portray Marduk venturing into unexplored celestial territories and the universe's distant corners. He scrutinizes the concealed wisdom. He perceives every sector of the cosmos. It was characterized as the supervisor of all celestial bodies, possessing an orbit that allowed it to encompass all others. He maintains grip on their tracks, orbits, forming a ring around them. Its path was more elevated and magnificent compared to other celestial entities. This led Franz Kugler, in his work Sternkunde und Sterndienst in Babylon, to hypothesize that Marduk was a swift celestial entity, tracing a vast elliptical route akin to a comet. This elliptical route, with the Sun as the gravitational focal point, features an apogee, the furthest point from the Sun where the homeward journey commences, and a perigee, the closest point to the Sun where the voyage back to the cosmos initiates. Mesopotamian scripts indeed associate Marduk with two such stations. Sumerian writings depict the planet transitioning from Anur, heaven's base, to Enun, lordly abode. The creation narrative recounts Marduk's journey as he crossed the heaven and surveyed the regions. The structure of the deep the Lord then measured. Ishara he established as his outstanding abode. Ishara as a great abode in the heaven he established. One abode was distinctly outstanding, situated in the profound expanses of the cosmos. The other was positioned in the sky, within the asteroid belt nestled between Mars and Jupiter. Heeding the doctrines of their Sumerian ancestor, Abraham of Ur, the early Hebrews linked their highest god with the paramount planet. Similar to the Mesopotamian narratives, numerous Old Testament volumes depict the Lord residing in the heights of heaven, where he observed the primary planets at their birth. A heavenly Lord who invisibly circulates in a loop in the skies. The Book of Job, which narrates the astral clash, includes these notable lines indicating the grandiose planet's destination. Upon the deep, he marked out an orbit. Where light and darkness merge is his farthest limit. Equally clear, the Psalms depict the planet's regal trajectory. The heavens bespeak the glory of the Lord. The hammered bracelet proclaims his handiwork. He comes forth as a groom from the canopy. Like an athlete, he rejoices to run the course. From the end of heavens he emanates, and his circuit is to their end. Acknowledged as a supreme voyager of the skies, reaching unparalleled altitudes at its zenith before coming down, bowing unto the heaven during its nadir. The celestial body was portrayed as a winged globe. In every location where the remnants of ancient Near Eastern civilizations have been unearthed, the emblem of the winged globe was prominently displayed. It held a commanding presence in sacred and royal edifices, engraved on stone surfaces, imprinted on cylindrical seals, and illustrated on mural paintings. It was a constant companion of monarchs and clergy, gracing the spaces above their seats of power, hovering over them in depictions of warfare, and integrated into the designs of their war vehicles. This motif adorned artifacts crafted from clay, metal, stone, and wood. It was a revered symbol among the governing figures of Sumer and Akkad, Babylon and Assyria, and other notable ancient kingdoms, maintaining its supreme status through countless generations. At the heart of ancient cosmology and religious doctrines was the unwavering belief in the existence of the 12th planet, referred to as the planet of the gods, a member of our solar system returning to the proximity of Earth in a grand cyclical journey. The hieroglyph representing this 12th planet known as the planet of crossing, took the shape of a cross. This ancient cuneiform sign, which was associated with Anu and divine, underwent a transformation in the Semitic tongues, evolving into the letter Tav, synonymous with the sign. It was a widely held belief among ancient civilizations that the cyclical approach of the 12th planet signaled tumultuous events, significant transformations, and the onset of new epochs. The Mesopotamian scriptures referred to this celestial phenomenon as a foreseen, calculable, and visible occurrence. The great planet, at his appearance dark red, the heaven he divides in half and stands as Nibiru. Numerous scriptures that discussed the planet's advent were prophetic, delineating the potential impacts this event would have on Earth and its inhabitants. Campbell Thompson, in his compilation Reports of the Magicians and Astronomers of Nineveh and Babylon, presented a series of these texts, illustrating the journey of the planet as it ringed the station of Jupiter, before reaching its crossing point, Nibiru. When from the station of Jupiter the planet passes towards the west, there will be a time of dwelling in security. Kindly peace will descend on the land. When from the station of Jupiter the planet increases in brilliance, and in the zodiac of Cancer will become Nibiru, Akkad will overflow with plenty, the king of Akkad will grow powerful. When Nibiru culminates, the lands will dwell securely, hostile kings will be at peace, the gods will receive prayers and hear supplications. However, the approaching celestial body was also anticipated to bring about meteorological disturbances, including rains and floods, due to its potent gravitational influence. When the planet of the throne of heaven will grow brighter, there will be floods and rains. When Nibiru attains its perigee, the gods will give peace, troubles will be cleared up, complications will be unraveled, rains and floods will come. In alignment with the Mesopotamian scholars, the Hebrew prophets perceived the nearing and visibility of the planet to humanity as the harbinger of a renewed age. The parallels between the Mesopotamian predictions of harmony and wealth following the appearance of the planet of the throne of heaven and the biblical forecasts of peace and justice reigning on earth post the day of the Lord are profoundly reflected in the prophetic words of Isaiah. And it shall come to pass at the end of days, the Lord shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many peoples. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. In stark opposition to the prosperous times anticipated in the aftermath of the day of the Lord, the day itself was characterized in the Old Testament as a period of torrential rains, floods, and seismic activities. Drawing parallels between these scriptural descriptions and the Mesopotamian texts, one might infer that they allude to the close passage of a massive planet, exerting a substantial gravitational force. This interpretation lends a clear perspective to Isaiah's words. Like the noise of a multitude in the mountains, a tumultuous noise like of a great many people, of kingdoms of nations gathered together, it is the Lord of hosts, commanding a host to battle. From a faraway land they come, from the end point of the heaven do the Lord and his weapons of wrath come to destroy the whole earth. Therefore will I agitate the heaven, and earth shall be shaken out of its place when the Lord of hosts shall be crossing, the day of his burning wrath. As the earth experiences transformations with mountains shall melt, valleys shall be cleft. It is prophesied that the planet's rotational dynamics would undergo alterations. Amos vividly foretells, "It shall come to pass on that day, saith the Lord God, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the midst of daytime." Zechariah, proclaiming the arrival of the day of the Lord, enlightens the populace that the halting of earth's rotation would be a transient phenomenon, lasting a single day. And it shall come to pass on that day there shall be no light. Uncommonly shall it freeze. And there shall be one day, known to the Lord, which shall be neither day nor night, when at evetime there shall be light. Joel, another prophet, speaks of celestial bodies losing their luminosity on the day of the Lord, stating that, "The sun and moon shall be darkened, the stars shall withdraw their radiance. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon shall be as red blood." Mesopotamian scriptures glorify the luminosity of the planet, indicating its visibility even during the day, and describe it as visible at sunrise, disappearing from view at sunset. This imagery is also captured in various cylinder seals depicting a cross. Ancient civilizations not only awaited the cyclical return of the 12th planet, but also meticulously tracked its progressive path. Biblical texts, notably in the books of Isaiah, Amos, and Job, correlate the celestial entity's trajectory with different star formations, stating, "Alone he stretches out the heavens and treads upon the highest deep. He arrives at the Great Bear, Orion and Sirius, and the constellations of the south." The verses portray a planet traversing the vast heavens, approaching from the southern direction and moving clockwise, a motion corroborated by Mesopotamian findings. Habakkuk unequivocally mentions, "The Lord from the south shall come, his glory shall fill the earth, and Venus shall be as light, its rays of the Lord given." A prominent Mesopotamian text provides a lucid description: planet of the god Marduk, upon its appearance, Mercury, rising 30 degrees of the celestial arc, Jupiter, when standing in the place of the celestial battle, Nibiru. These texts elaborate not just on the different appellations of the 12th planet, but delve into its movements and the pivotal positions where it can be observed from Earth. The ancient scriptures of Mesopotamia and Hebrew traditions, echoed later in the New Testament, fostered the anticipation of the day of the Lord, grounded in the real experiences of the Earth's inhabitants, witnessing the recurrent approach of the planet of kingship to Earth's vicinity. The cyclical visibility and invisibility of the planet from Earth substantiate its sustained orbit around the Sun, akin to many comets. For instance, Halley's Comet, which approaches Earth every 75 years, has had periods of absence so extended that astronomers struggled to recognize it upon its return. Some comets, observed only once in human history, are believed to have orbital durations spanning thousands of years. The comet Kohoutek, initially spotted in March 1973, passed 75 million miles from Earth in January 1974 before vanishing behind the Sun, with predictions of its reappearance ranging from 7,500 to 75,000 years hence. The periodic visibility and invisibility of the 12th planet in our sky implies that its orbit is quicker than what has been deduced for Kohoutek. This raises a question. Why haven't modern-day astronomers detected this celestial body? The reality is that even if its orbit was half as long as the smallest estimate for Kohoutek, the 12th planet would still be situated 6 times further from us than Pluto, a location from where it would hardly, if at all, reflect sunlight back to Earth, making it invisible to the naked eye. Interestingly, the discovery of planets beyond Saturn was not through visual spotting but through mathematical calculations, as these planets seem to be influencing the orbits of known planets. It is plausible that the 12th planet will be discovered in a similar fashion by astronomers. There has been ongoing speculation regarding the existence of a Planet X, which, despite being unseen, might be sensed due to its gravitational effects on certain comets. In 1972, Joseph Brady of the Lawrence Livermore Laboratory at the University of California hypothesized that the irregularities in Halley's Comet's orbit might be the result of a Jupiter-sized planet revolving around the Sun every 1,800 years. Situated at an estimated 6 billion miles away, its existence could only be affirmed through mathematical means. The ancient Mesopotamian and biblical texts provide compelling evidence to support a 600-year orbital period for the 12th planet. In Sumerian numerology, the number 3600 was depicted as a large circle and was synonymous with the term shar, which translated to a perfect circle, a completed cycle, and also denoted the number 3600. The convergence of the meanings, planet, orbit, and 3600, seems too significant to be mere happenstance. Historical records from Berossus, a Babylonian priest and scholar, refer to 10 sovereigns who ruled the earth before a great flood. These accounts, summarized by Alexander Polyhistor, state, "In the second book was the history of the 10 kings of the Chaldeans, and the periods of each reign, which consisted collectively of 120 shars, or 432,000 years, reaching to the time of the deluge." Aristotle's student Abydanus echoed Berossus, specifying that these rulers governed ancient Mesopotamian territories, and their cumulative reign spanned 120 shars. He detailed, "It is said that the first king of the land was Aloris. He reigned 10 shars. Now a shar is esteemed to be 3,600 years. After him, Alapris reigned 3 shars. To him succeeded Amalaris from the city of Pantibiblon, who reigned 13 shars. After him, Ammonon reigned 12 shars. He was of the city of Pantibiblon. Then Megalurus of the same place, 18 shars. Then Daus the shepherd governed for the space of 10 shars. There were afterwards other rulers, and the last of all, Sisithras, so that in the whole the number amounted to 10 kings, and the term of their reigns to 120 shars. Apollodorus of Athens also documented Berossus's revelations, highlighting the reign duration of each ruler in 3 600-year shar units, amounting to a total of 120 shars or 432,000 years. With the emergence of Sumerology, the ancient texts Berossus referred to were unearthed and decoded, revealing Sumerian king lists that chronicled the reign of 10 pre-flood rulers from the inception of kingship descended from heaven to the cataclysmic deluge that engulfed the earth. A particular Sumerian king list, designated as text WB 144, delineates the reigns in 5 established cities. Initially in the city of Eridu, 2 progenitors ruled, as indicated in the text. When kingship was lowered from heaven, kingship was first in Eridu. In Eridu, Alulim became king. He ruled 28,800 years. Alalgar ruled 36,000 years. 2 kings ruled it 64,800 years. Subsequently, governance shifted to other centers, with leaders bearing the title En, meaning Lord, and in one instance the divine epithet Dingir. The text continues, I drop Eridu. Its kingship was carried to Bad Tabira. In Bad Tabira, Enmenluana ruled 43,200 years. Enmengalana ruled 28,800 years. Divine Dumuzi, shepherd, ruled 36,000 years. 3 kings ruled it for 108,000 years. Following this, the list mentions successive cities, Larak and Sippar, and their divine leaders, concluding with Shurupak, where a demigod assumed kingship. Remarkably, all these reign durations are multiples of 3,600, underscoring a significant pattern in their historical recordings. An ancient Sumerian document WB 62 incorporated Larsa and its twin divine monarchs into the royal chronicle, attributing to them reign durations that precisely align with multiples of the 3 600-year Shar cycle. Leveraging additional texts, it is inferred that 10 sovereigns presided over Sumer before the Great Flood, each ruling for a distinct number of Shar cycles, cumulatively amounting to 120 Shar cycles, a detail corroborated by Berossus. This leads to the plausible deduction that these reign durations were synchronized with the orbital cycle Shar, spanning 3,600 years, of the celestial body named Shar, also referred to as the planet of kingship. It is posited that Alulim held power through 8 cycles of the 12th planet, followed by Alalgar, who ruled for 10 cycles, and so forth. The hypothesis extends to suggest that these pre-flood monarchs were Anunnaki, extraterrestrial beings originating from the 12th planet. Consequently, their reign durations on Earth mirrored the orbital cycles of the 12th planet, marking the intervals between their arrivals and departures, which were dictated by the planet's proximity to Earth, hence measured in Shar cycles. A logical question arises regarding the feasibility of a Anunnaki sustaining a reign for an astounding span of 28,800 or 36,000 years, a duration scholars often label as mythical. However, the concept of a year is relative, defined by Earth's annual revolution around the Sun, a cycle that has fundamentally influenced life and biological rhythms on Earth. It is conceivable that life on another planet would be attuned to its own orbital cycles. If the 12th planet's orbit around the Sun was significantly elongated, taking 100 or 1,000 times longer than Earth's, the Anunnaki's perception of a year would correspondingly be 100 or 1,000 Earth years. Assuming the 12th planet's orbital period is 3,600 Earth years, a single Anunnaki year would equate to 3,600 Earth years, rendering the seemingly mythical reign durations reported by Sumerian texts and Berossus as a matter of 5, 8, or 10 Anunnaki years. Historical analysis reveals that humanity's progression toward civilization, facilitated by the Anunnaki, underwent 3 pivotal phases, each separated by 3,600 years, aligning with significant periods in history. This suggests the Anunnaki's periodic reassessment and endorsement of human advancement, coinciding with the 12th planet's approaches to Earth. Scholars like Heinrich Zimmam in the Babylonian and Hebrew Genesis have highlighted that the Old Testament preserves narratives of pre-flood leaders and patriarchs, listing 10 such figures from Adam to Noah, the protagonist of the flood narrative. The book of Genesis, chapter 6, portrays the divine disillusionment with humanity, expressing God's regret in creating humans and contemplating their annihilation. And the Lord said, "My spirit shall not shield man forever. Having erred, he is but flesh, and his days were 120 years." This verse has traditionally been interpreted as God limiting human lifespan to 120 years, a notion contradicted by the extended lifespans of Noah and his progeny post-flood. A closer examination of the verse reveals the use of past tense, prompting a re-evaluation of whose lifespan is being referred to, leading to the conclusion that it pertains to the deity. Sumerian and Babylonian epics frequently contextualize significant events within specific time frames, a narrative technique also employed in Genesis chapter 6 to delineate the circumstances leading up to the Great Deluge, beginning with the phrase, "When the earthlings began to increase in number upon the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them." The narrative unfolds to describe a time when divine beings mated with human women, giving rise to a race of mighty individuals known as the Nephilim, establishing the historical backdrop for the impending flood. This period witnessed the coexistence of the Nephilim and humans, a time characterized by unprecedented interactions and unions between the two groups, laying the foundation for a lineage of powerful beings, referred to as the people of the Shem. In that era, during those moments, in that specific juncture, humanity stood on the brink of extinction, threatened to be erased from the earth through a catastrophic flood. What is the precise timing of this event? The third verse provides a clear answer. It was when the divine entity's tally reached 120 years. This span of 120 years pertains not to human or earthly measurement, but to the timekeeping of the formidable beings, the people of the rockets, the Anunnaki. Their unit of time was the Shar, equivalent to 3,600 years on Earth. This reading not only sheds light on the enigmatic passages in Genesis 6, but also aligns with Sumerian accounts. a total of 120 shars, or 432,000 Earth years, had elapsed from the initial arrival of the Anunnaki on Earth to the time of the Great Flood. Drawing from the calculated assumptions regarding the timing of the flood, we deduce that the Anunnaki first set foot on Earth around 450,000 years ago. Before delving into the ancient chronicles that detail the Anunnaki's journeys to and settlements on Earth, we must address two fundamental inquiries. Is it plausible for entities not vastly different from humans to have originated on a different planet? Did such entities possess the technology for space travel 500,000 years ago? The initial query leads to an even more profound question. Does life, as we comprehend it, exist elsewhere apart from Earth? Current scientific understanding acknowledges the existence of countless galaxies akin to ours, housing myriad stars resembling the Sun, and a vast array of planets with diverse environmental conditions, presenting innumerable opportunities for life to flourish. Research has revealed that the space within our solar system is not a complete vacuum. For instance, water molecules, believed to be remnants of ancient icy crystal clouds that once surrounded nascent stars, are present in space. This finding corroborates the recurring Mesopotamian narratives of solar waters merging with the waters of Tiamat. Moreover, essential life-forming molecules have been detected drifting in interplanetary space, debunking the previously held belief that life is confined to specific atmospheric or thermal conditions. The assumption that the Sun is the sole provider of heat and energy necessary for life has been dismissed. For instance, the Pioneer 10 spacecraft unveiled that Jupiter, despite its distance from the Sun, harbors substantial heat, indicating internal sources of energy and warmth. A planet rich in radioactive elements could not only produce its own heat, but also foster significant volcanic activities, consequently forming an atmosphere. If the gravitational force of the planet is sufficiently strong, it could retain its atmosphere for an extended period, facilitating a greenhouse effect that protects the planet from the frigid void of space while preserving its intrinsic heat, akin to how clothing insulates us. This understanding lends a deeper meaning to ancient descriptions of the 12th planet being enveloped in a halo, more than just a poetic expression. It was consistently depicted as a luminous entity, the brightest of the gods he is, with illustrations portraying it as a source of rays. This planet had the ability to generate and maintain heat due to its atmospheric shield. Recent scientific discoveries suggest a surprising possibility that life might not only have the potential to develop on outer planets such as Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, but it likely did. These planets, composed of the solar system's lighter elements and bearing a closer resemblance to the universal makeup, house a rich blend of hydrogen, helium, methane, ammonia, and potentially neon and water vapor in their atmospheres, providing all the essential components for the formation of organic molecules. Water is a fundamental element for the existence of life as we perceive it. Ancient Mesopotamian scriptures unequivocally portrayed the 12th planet as a realm abundant in water. In the Epic of Creation, the celestial body was attributed with 50 appellations, several of which praised its aquatic features. Stemming from the title Asar, translating to something like watery king, the planet was further characterized as Asaru, meaning like lofty, bright, watery king, and Asaruludu, defined as lofty, bright, watery king whose deep is plentiful, among others. The Sumerian civilization held a firm belief that this 12th planet was lush and teeming with life, referring to it as the god who maintains life. This entity was also revered as the bestower of cultivation, and the creator of grain and herbs who causes vegetation to sprout, who opened the wells, apportioning waters of abundance, effectively being the irrigator of heaven and earth. Modern scientific consensus posits that life originated not on terrestrial planets, laden with heavy chemical constituents, but in the outer reaches of the solar system. It is from this distant region that the 12th planet ventured closer, a radiant reddish entity emanating heat and offering vital elements from its atmosphere, fostering the prerequisites for life's chemistry. The enigma that perplexes researchers is the emergence of life on our home planet, Earth, which formed approximately 4.5 billion years ago. It is speculated that simpler life forms appeared a few 100 million years later, a timeline that seems uncomfortably rapid. Moreover, evidence suggests that the earliest life forms, dating back over 3 billion years, contained biologically derived molecules, implying a lineage tracing back to pre-existing life, rather than arising from inanimate chemicals and gases. This leads the scientific community to a startling hypothesis. Life did not evolve on Earth, a theory echoed in a 1973 article in the Icarus Journal by Nobel laureate Francis Crick and Dr. Leslie Orgel. They proposed that Earth's life might have originated from microscopic entities from a far-off planet. This groundbreaking theory emerged amidst growing skepticism regarding existing explanations for life's genesis on Earth, raising questions about the singular genetic code shared across all terrestrial life and the peculiar role of the scarce element molybdenum in vital enzymatic processes, while more prevalent elements like chromium and nickel remain largely irrelevant in biochemical reactions. Crick and Orgel ventured further, suggesting not just the possibility of life stemming from extraterrestrial organisms, but a deliberate seeding process initiated by intelligent extraterrestrial beings, who dispatched life's seed to Earth via a spacecraft, intending to initiate a cycle of life here. Despite lacking insights presented in this book, the two distinguished scientists nearly touched upon the truth. Rather than a planned seeding, a cosmic collision occurred. The 12th planet, bearing life and accompanied by its moons, clashed with Tiamat, resulting in its bifurcation and the formation of Earth from one of its halves. This cataclysmic event facilitated the transfer of life-bearing soil and air from the 12th planet to Earth, sowing the seeds for the early complex life forms, a phenomenon otherwise unexplainable. Assuming life on the 12th planet commenced a mere 1% earlier than on Earth, it would signify a head start of 45 million years. This slight advantage could mean that beings as evolved as humans might have inhabited the 12th planet, while Earth was home to only nascent small mammals. This early onset of life on the 12th planet opens up the possibility of its inhabitants achieving space travel capabilities around 500,000 years ago. These ideas may seem absurd to some of us, but we must admit that the ideas of Zechariah Sitchin presented in this video are extremely convincing and make a lot of sense. What are your thoughts on this? Leave them in the comments. If you liked the video, leave your like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. See you in the next video.